Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, please come. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, please come. We're just about to do this. Hare Krishna.
What are you eating? Plastic. Would you like to eat plastic?
She's teaching that we should not be eaten. She's teaching from her action. That I'm doing it, but I'm telling you not to do that. That's very nice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Please come. So let's do Gaurati and then we'll get into this. Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Kosho Shiva Jayo Jayo Gaura Chande Arati Kosho Jagamana Doshadigaya Shiva Chandra Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karta Baje Ganta Baje Baje Karta Patuta Vedanga Paramarakala Gandhabade, Gandhabade, Madhur, 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 Bade, Gandhabade, Gandhabade, Madhur, 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 Bade, Madhur, 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 Bade, Madhur, 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 Bade, Vivaho Koti Chandra Shini Vadana Ujvala Koti Chandra Shini Vadana Ujvala Deshe Bana Bhala Tore Jhalamala Tore Jhalamala Shiva Shiva Shukranarada Prene Gada Gada Gaurar Sampada Gaurange Arati Joga Jaga Janira Mana Loga Gaurange Arati Joga Jaga Janira Mana Loga Jaga Janira Mana Loga Nithai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nithai Gaura Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Jagannath Sutta, Nitai Jagannath Sutta, Nitai Jagannath Sutta, Nitai Jagannath. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Sita Gaura Hari Bol. Ram Sankirtan Yajna ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, devotees, for giving a valuable association. Very grateful to all of you. So let's begin with Mangalacharan before we start discussion from Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnanitmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovisham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, once again, welcome all the devotees. So, we are studying from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, title as The Birth of Emperor Parikshit. So, last time we saw the different qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. When he was born, all the Brahmanas predicted that what qualities he will possess, right? And those are very magnificent qualities. So, before we go there, let me pray that whatever that we are going to study today is all from the scripture that I'm studying, the commentary of our acharyas, the purport of Srila Prabhupada, and the lecture that I listened to. From there, I'm going to speak. So, if there is any credit, they may go to our Guru work from whom I have listened. And if there is any mistake that will be solely mine, so please forgive me. And I seek all of your blessings and prayers so that I can speak nice words which are helping us in advancing our Krishna consciousness. And also pray to all the Guru work who I listen to and take their blessings. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. So last time we saw that Brahmanas are predicting some amazing and wonderful qualities of Parikshit Maharaj, isn't it? So last quality was about like Prahlad Maharaj. We saw that how wonderful quality that he will possess, right? So with that, we'll start from the next one. So in these words, this particular quality is chastiser. So let us read these words and then there is a question that will come up. So let's understand this. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Just read this word. Rajarshinam Jaya Janayita Shasta Chotpatha Gaminam Nigrahita Kaler Esha Bhuvo Dharmasya Karanat. Yes, Rishit, can you please read translation to that?
This child will be the father of kings, will be like sages, for world peace and for the sake of willing. He will be the chastiser of upstarts and the falls.
Thank you. So Prabhupada has a very brilliant sentence in the opening of the purport itself. What Prabhupada says. So all the translation purport will be by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So look at this. Prabhupada says, the wisest man in the world is a devotee of the law. Jai Bhaja Krishna, Sei Bada Chatur. So you can see, the wisest man is someone who is the devotee of Krishna, isn't it? Such a profound statement that is made by Srila Prabhupada. The sages, Hare Krishna, please come. The sages are called wise men, and there are different types of wise men in different branches of knowledge. Unless, therefore, the king of or the head of the state is the wisest man, he cannot control all types of wise men in the state. So this is very clear. The Prabhupada is saying that the head of the state or a country has to be very wise. And wise means what? He has to be a devotee. Wise doesn't mean intellectual.
Spiritual.
Spiritual wise, correct. Spiritually person to be wise. Because from there they draw all the knowledge and information, how to lead life. And as a head of the country, head of the state, it is his responsibility to pass on that knowledge and make sure that all the people they follow the same path. Because that's when the good quality of citizens will be there. Otherwise, there is always a problem. That's what we see today. Right? So here it is mentioned that he will be the chastiser of the upstart. So can you give me an example that who did Parikshit Maharaj chastise? Anybody know any kids? No? Okay. Rishit, you know? Okay, no problem. So he chastised anybody? Kali, yes. He chastised Kali. So when Lord Krishna departed from this world, right, the Kali entered. Kali Yuga started because that was like Dwapar Yuga and Kali Yuga has to switch over. So Kali Yuga started at that time. So and we will see that, because it will come in the next step. So we'll not elaborate on this particular topic, but we'll just touch for a minute. So Maharaj Parikshit, when he was taking round, he saw Kali is coming and he chastised him. You cannot come here when I am here, But the Kali has to come. So, he has to do that, right? So in the previous verses that we saw that one who gives shelter. What was that? He will be giving shelter like what? Not nine. Huh? No, he said he'll be giving shelter like this. Mountains, Himalaya, right? So who did give Kali, who did Parikshit Maharaj give shelter to? He chastised Kali, but he gave shelter also. Who? Madhura's cow. But he gave shelter to everybody, so including Kali was also given shelter. Can you imagine? He chastised and also gave shelter. So he was able to do everything together. Many times we see how can somebody be so nice and still at the same time very firm, those kind of things. So he's having that quality. Then he's chastising Kali, and Kali saying, no, but I have to come, so please give me. And he said, okay, I'll give you shelter in these 5 places, right? Where the gambling is happening, meat eating is happening. You can stay this place. People are possessing a lot of gold, all these things. So that is what he gave shelter to. So Maharaj Parikshit had such an amazing quality that he's able to chastise, and at the same time he said, okay, you can stay here, like that, which is very rare to see. Because normally when you have, for example, when you have some quarrel with someone, we completely cut off with that person, right? We have no relation, something like that happen. But here, thinking of the future, that what's going to happen, Parikshit Maharaj is given this place. So Prabhupada mentioned that into this, but we'll not go into the detail of the purport, because that will come in a whole chapter is coming. Where Parikshit Maharaj will subdue the Kali. So very big discussion, a very wonderful discussion here happens. Very relevant for all of us because we are living in Kali Yuga, and that's when it just happened. It just started at that time, right? So let's go to the next verse. So now, what is happening is that all the good qualities are discussed about Parikshit Maharaj, but now Brahmana is going to make a very big revelation. What is that? When he will leave this body. So, when as soon as the child is born, you say, okay, he will leave his body, he'll die at this time. Okay, tell me good things. But knowing this, that when the person will leave, how it helps in a way, right? Will not worry. At least devotee will not be worried that I am going to leave my body. Devotees are very happy. In fact, when they are leaving, have you seen a devotee crying? No, I don't know. I want to leave. No devotee cries, right? They're always happy because they know that I'm going to some better destination, isn't it? So it's always happiness. Like when the children are going for a picnic, they're happy, like I'm going, out. I'm in home, and now vacations are coming, so we'll have some trip planned for kids, and they're very excited. I want to go. So they are not afraid of leaving home. They're happy. excited. Come on, let's go, everybody. They're getting late. That's how the kids behave. So devotee is also like that when they are living. No sadness at all. No sadness at all. Right? They live very happily. So that is how the prediction is made that you are going to get this, and the devotees are not worried because they see that this is all Krishna's hand. Krishna is going to do the best for me. So why should I worry? Like a child who's never worried when the parent gives them instruction and all that. Parents are going to be doing the best for me. So they are not worried. The same thing, devotees are never worried because they know Krishna is my best well-wisher. Nobody else. This is a very important point that we should know, that Krishna is my well-wisher. Therefore, we will be equipoised in every condition. Because Krishna says that we should be happy. We should not be very happy, when things go like, sometimes people become very joyous, something good thing happen. And exactly opposite happens when something not favorable happens to them. So we should be equipoised. So let us read this verse. Verse number 27. Takshakadatmano mrityum Vijaputro pasarjitat Prapatasya upashrutya Mukta Sangha Padam Hare. Yes, Kavish, can you read translation, brother?
After hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by a son of Brahma, he will get himself free from all material attachment and surrender unto the personality of Godhead and taking shelter.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So in a purport, Prabhupada writes, again, very wonderful paragraph is coming. So let us meditate on this because this is very important for all of us, all those who are practicing Krishna consciousness, or who want to become a devotee, who are practicing devotional service, right? Prabhupada says, material attachment and taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord go ill together, meaning they don't go together. We should be very clear in this understanding. If you're trying to have material enjoyment, and at the same time I'm thinking that I will become a devotee, then that's not going to work. Of course, we should do our karma, right? We should do all the hard work. Everything is perfectly all right, no problem at all. But we should also understand I have no right on the result, right? So Prabhupada is saying that when you're trying to do both, they are not going to work together. It is not. In fact, many times we see that we become successful as a devotee also, and we feel, oh, this bhakti is working. It is not actually bhakti is working. It is because of past karma that our material progress is happening. And we feel it is because of bhakti. It is not because of that. Because when the past karma gets over, then, punya is over, then again decline begins. Then, sorry, I was doing bhakti nicely, suddenly declining happens. It happens. Confuses people. But Prabhupada is making it very clear that both don't go together. Material attachment means ignorance of transcendental happiness under the shelter of the Lord. Meaning that we are trying to be happy in this world, which we will never be. We can only be happy if we take to the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. That's where only the happiness comes, the true happiness. In fact, expecting happiness in this world is like a joke, that we will never be happy. We will never be happy. It is all temporary. All temporary. And the happiness that we feel here is actually going to cause a lot of trouble. Like, the camel, camel eats the thorns, and the thorns are very sharp. So sometimes it just cuts his, tongue and all that, and the blood comes out. And blood has little salty taste. So he thinks, oh, these thorns are very tasty, and keeps eating more and more, thinking this is tasty. But it is not, it's its own blood. So he's hurting and trying to be happy with that. This is what happens when we try to enjoy in this material world. We are hurting ourselves, but without knowledge. Devotional service to the Lord while existing in the material world is a way to practice one's transcendental relation with the Lord. And when it is mature, one gets completely free from all material attachment and become competent to go back home, back to Godhead. So we can only be able to go back to Godhead when we are completely surrendered to Krishna, when we have complete faith in Krishna. The temporary faith that we have sometimes when we have problems in life, we take shelter, which is fine, right? We try to take shelter every day, we try to practice. But ultimately, he says only when we completely 100% surrender to Krishna, Krishna, I'm yours, you take care of my life, and that's it, right? So there's one wonderful phrase comes in like, Joi Joi Pyaro Kare Soi Mohi Bhave. He says, whatever Krishna does, that is what I will take care. I have no problem at all. I have no problem. But when we'll be happy? When things happens our way. Then say, oh Krishna, you are so merciful. He suddenly said, Krishna, great. I was looking for this job and you got it. Thank you. But if he gets in some other company and all that, Hare Krishna, what is this? I don't want to be here. Why I'm here? Isn't it? We thank Krishna when it's favorable to us. We don't thank Krishna when things happen in his way. Because that's something confusing. We never understand why it is happening that way. But that's how this world is built. That's how this world is built. And we need to learn that. And that can only be learned through Shastra Chakshu. If you keep reading the scriptures, take shelter of the scripture and Guru, then we learn from bona fide Guru. And then these things become very crystal clear in life. Otherwise, there will always be confusion. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, right? Nimitta matram bhava satya sachina. So he says, whatever, just become my instrument. Krishna tells Arjuna, you become my instrument and fight. Why are you worried? So let's take an example. We are doing some service in the temple, in the kitchen, right? Paniyati festival is coming. Everybody will be busy cutting vegetables, paneer, and so many things. There is so much service. Everybody, please come. Okay, it's going to be on Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. A lot of service will be there for all of us. So please join in. And devotee come from 5 o'clock to cut vegetables because the breakfast has to be served at 8 o'clock. So we have to start cooking at 4 o'clock. Devotee come there to cut, and there's a line to cut that. Now let's say, what do we use to cut vegetables, Rishit? Knife. If knife tells, no, only cut tomatoes, not paneer. No, I'm not going to, it's too hard. I'm going to only use tomatoes. Does it work? No. It's an instrument. Instrument will be used by the person who's having it in the way he wants to. Similarly, we are all instrument in the hands of Krishna. The way he wants to use us, that's it. We cannot say, Krishna, why this and why not that? I mean, that's not going to work. So you have to think that we are an instrument in the hands of Krishna. And that's the best hand that you can be in. That's the best hand you can be in, right? So we should always think that, no, let Krishna, I'm your instrument, do as you like, no problem. I'm yours. That surrender should come. That surrender should come. And Prabhupada makes a very wonderful point here about, Parikshit Maharaj. He says, when he was already destined to die, right, by Takshak, he says, he was always protected by the Lord. He could have avoided the effect of such a curse by the grace of the Lord, but he did not take such undue advantage for nothing. Parikshit Maharaj could have retracted. No, I will not take the curse. He was powerful. He did not do that. He did not do that. He said, no problem, let it come. Let it come. And then further he says, rather he made the best use of the bad bargain. We are in the material world, so we have to always deal with this bad bargain because the situations are always going to be unfavorable, right? So whichever condition we are, we should make use of that and say, okay, I will continue to do my bhajan, right? Suddenly, when we are in unfavorable conditions, according to us, according to Krishna, it is favorable always, but we don't understand. So we think it is unfavorable. So when we are in unfavorable condition, according to us, our bhajan has impact, isn't it? Chanting is not happening nicely. We are not able to do service nicely. We cannot read Shastra. We are barely able to do certain things. This is what happens. But you have to make best use of the bad bargain. Like in COVID, what happened? COVID was there and everybody, what did devotee do? Devotee went online. Suddenly they are having online classes and they're morning training, everybody is busy listening to classes and so many classes. Suddenly, people thought this is also a way to preach, isn't it? So COVID was definitely an impact, and uh, obviously it was bad for those who left, this world and their families and all that. But devotee made the best use of that time. All of us were very fully engaged into that, isn't it? At that time, we are all on the Zoom. Nobody knew how to use it, but we started learning initially. Unmute, mute. I can't see this. All this happened. All the Matajis who are like housewives, they have never used computer, but they always listen to in-person classes, but they have become now Zoom experts. They can run classes on Zoom, So we made the best use of the bad bargain at that time. So similarly, in our life also, there will be such situation where it is not favorable. But we have to make best use of that. What did Parishit Maharaj do? When he was cursed, what did he do?
Heard Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam. He just went, okay, I want to renounce. I have 7 days. Let me make best use of these 7 days. If we have 7 days, what we'll do? We'll say, okay, who will get this? We'll making good money. Okay, bring all the families. Okay, Zoom call. Okay, I'm fine. I'm going to leave. But okay, everybody, please take care. Nothing of that sort. He just left.
Do not accept that. It's very difficult to accept that we are going to die.
Exactly. In first point is that it's very difficult. We will try to find out, is there a medicine which can prolong my stay? No, 7 days. No, doctor, please do something. Can it be 7 months? And somehow, let's say doctor gives 7 months. Then after that is again we'll say, no, can we do something more? We are never happy, satisfied with this life. So the only way to do is like Parishit Maharaj did, renounce everything, just surrender to Krishna. People live in sleep and then when they wake up, nothing is there. What happened to their wealth, their family? Krishna is taking care of them. As a responsible, householder, we have to take care as long as we are there. There is no doubt. We are not saying you just ignore and all that. That is not the case. But think that it is all temporary. It's all going to go in one moment and go on, finish. So that is what understanding is being given. Detachment. While remaining this world, we have to remain detached. Right? So for 7 days continuously, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from the right source. This is important, right source. And that's how he was able to go back to God. Right? Let's go to the next verse. Verse number 28. Jignasita ma yahartho yathartho Munirvyasa sutadaso Itvedam nripa gangayam Yasyatya kuto bhayam. Akshat, can you read?
After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasadeva, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness.
So here again the prediction is there that we will hear from whom all the points. See, you can see how the astrology is so accurate. It is in every small detail. In fact, if you want to know every detail, we can find out. Because when astrologer looks at our chart, they can see 10,000 things in our life. They won't tell everything. They will only tell what we ask. That's it. They won't tell everything. But they can see, as soon as they see the chart, because sometimes certain things are very embarrassing to tell also. Right? It's very difficult to tell everything to everyone. It's like, you're standing in front of X-ray and everything is visible, then what do? It's like that. They can see it like that. As soon as they see the chart and they can tell everything about our life. But here, it is very clearly, Brahmanas are telling that he will be hearing from a great philosopher, son of Vyasadeva, is none other than Sukadeva Goswami. So we can see that Yudhishthira Maharaj is not very saddened because of this, because he knows that this is a good thing, right? Obviously, by the time Parikshit Maharaj will about to leave his body, he would have managed the kingdom nicely. He would have created his next line of kingdom, and who will rule that. Everything would have been done. So he's not worried about that. He is in fact feeling a little joy, happiness. That, oh, this is how glorious he will be, right? Because he already heard all the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. So that is amazing, right? Here, Prabhupada writes, again, wonderful purport. He says, Prabhupada says, material knowledge means ignorance of the knowledge of one's own self. Prabhupada used to call all these schools and colleges as the slaughterhouses. Yeah, he used very harsh word, but that's a fact. As soon as you go into the school, you forget. Nobody teaches about Bhagavad Gita. Nobody teaches about Bhagavatam. Nobody talks about Rama and Mahabharata. These topics were taught earlier in the schools because the child would get all this knowledge in the school itself. Nowadays, nobody even talks about it, right? And therefore, they only know how to make money, how to be happy, how to be competitive. These are the skills which are taught. And that only increases all the anarthas. Like you have envy, you have greed. These are all fostering in the child age, in the young age. That's what happens. So as a parent, it becomes our moral responsibility to teach this in our homes. So we have to sit with them, spend time with them, teach them. And we'll see in the next, few, Prabhupada is giving his own story. And that's what we have to learn from. That what all can be done. Because material life means what? We are trying to be happy with what we have, and we are trying to get something more. And we are always fearful of what we have, because if we lose it, our happiness will be dependent on that. Isn't it our happiness is dependent on certain things, certain people, certain situations? That's how we are happy. We are not contented and happy with what we have. We are always trying to find happiness somewhere else. And that is what is being taught in the school, unfortunately, how to be happy. But we cannot be happy. In fact, we should be teaching how to be more tolerant, right? Because the tolerant means in either case, either happiness or in sadness, we'll be happy. We'll be equipoised. We'll not have any disturbance in our mind. But as soon as we try to be happy with certain things, situations, person, then we are conditioned. If that condition is changed, we'll become unhappy. If we, let's say, if we love someone so much, and suddenly that person leaves or the relation breaks, what happens? People go under severe depression because their happiness will depend on that individual. In fact, in ISKCON, when the career counselor or marriage counselor rather, they meet young boy and girl, they want to marry them, they tell, don't try to extract happiness from other person. You give happiness to that person, and automatically happiness will come. But everybody tries to be happy that, no, you have to give me happiness. He's not carrying the happiness ka bora, na, that he'll give you, okay, take 1 kilo. That is not going to happen. So we have to give happiness, and then happiness will come to us automatically. But it is very difficult because we are always expecting others to make me happy. Make me nice food, so I'll be happy. But then you help Mataji in kitchen, cutting vegetable, cleaning up, certain thing can be done. So both are happy. So these are all things which is mutual. When we try to extract happiness from others, and when we don't get it, we are going to be miserable. And that's where the discussion begins. And then it can become sometimes big. It can take big situation also. So that's what Prabhupada in one sentence gives such a meaningful information to all of us. And therefore, Prabhupada said, look at this, Prabhupada, that it is possible only when the anxiety is changed to the devotional service to the Lord. Instead of being anxious, if we serve the Lord, then automatically our mind becomes very clear. In fact, we see whenever we attend classes, when listen to classes, when we go to temple, do some service, we become very, calm, nice, we understand things and all that. But moment after that, as soon as we start, the time passes, our mindset changes, things changes. That's why constant companion should be our chanting bits. Always be our hand, we should be chanting. We should be listening to classes all the time. If you see any of our guru work, they are never without the beads. They always have their hands in the bead bag. Always. Always. So it is not there, the 16 now they're chanting at that time. They already finished that. But he's like extra. So not to distract our mind. As soon as there is distraction come, immediately Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Immediately. Many times this question is asked, why you ISKCON people, carry this mala all the time? You're not chanting all the time, but you have this, why do you carry? And for that, Radha Govind Goswami Maharaj gives very wonderful response. He says, this is like a military man. When military man is on the border, he's carrying gun, the machine gun and all that, but he's not shooting all the time. Hare Krishna, please come. He says he uses only when there is a need. Suddenly enemy appears, you see an enemy, what do? Then you need to use it. So it is for us protection. When we see some temptation, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Suddenly bad thought comes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Right? This is how we can control our mind. So this is important that we should carry our mala all the time. And as soon as something comes, we can chant. Because we have finished our round in the morning, so which is fine. This is extra round. We can chant. This is how we can control. Okay, so let's go to the next verse. So after all the predictions are done, now Brahmanas are leaving. They're saying, okay, Yudhishthira Maharaj, we have given all the details about your grandson. We are now taking the leave. So let's see what he's saying. Itiragna upadishya viprajataka kovidaha labda pachitaya sarve prati jagmu swakan gruhan. Are you able to see?
Yes.
Yeah, you can read from there. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's like 90 degrees.
Translation. Thus, those who were expert in astrological knowledge and in performance of the birth and ceremony instructed King Yudhishthira about the future history of his child. Then, being sumptuously remunerated, they all returned to their respective homes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Priyansh. So, see, one important point which is mentioned here, whenever a Brahman comes and does some puja, predictions and all that, we should sumptuously, reward them. Not that then there's a bargain which will happen. If once this decision is made, then just, we are not happy also, just pay that amount. We can give feedback later, but that time, no, because auspicious occasion has happened, now we should just end on a wise note or a good note. So here, Prabhupada gives little difference between various words, like Vipra, Brahmanas, and all those things, right? So Vipra are those who are expert in karma kand, means who's doing yajna and all that. They are called Vipra. They are also wearing the thread, right? But they are called Vipra. Basically, they are like fruitive activities they do, like all the yajnas and putra kamasti yajna, so many things they can do. So they have that knowledge. So they do that, right? And they are also fine in a way, at least they are at least somewhere connecting to the Lord. So that is fine. And But the best among all this is Vipra, Brahman is the Vaishnava. Vaishnava are the highest. But it's because of misunderstanding that people carry, they think that Brahman is the highest by birth. But Prabhupada condemned that. Krishna also mentions in Bhagavad Gita that it is not by birth that we become Brahman. It is by our karma that we become Brahman. Or whatever varna that we fall into, right? It is because of our karma. What activity we do, what action we take now. If Prabhupada says, even if a Chandal is chanting and he's doing Krishna consciousness work, then he's higher. He's higher than Brahman. If Brahman is not doing that. Because just by birth, one is not entitled to become a Brahman or a Kshatriya and all that. It is not like that. But this is how it has been running. So everybody, even in this world, I'm Brahman family, I'm from this, they all talk about that. But hardly they follow the Brahmanical principles, or hardly they know any scripture, or they are reading. So how can you be Brahman? Brahman means you should be attached to the scripture, you should be listening to that, you should be showing the qualities of Brahman. Then you are a Brahman, not just by birth. So that's a big misunderstanding that most of the people carry even today. And that will continue to be there because of Kali Yuga is progressing to that mentality will be there. But Prabhupada therefore tried to introduce Daivi Varnashram. He was teaching in Gurukul that how the Varna and Ashram should be followed in our life. So from the young age, the child is given this training. So child knows that what is my Varna, what is my Ashram, and they will behave accordingly. And there is no confusion there. What happens when we follow Varnashram Dharma? The generation becomes very pious because they know what actions I have to take. Right now, people don't know what to do. People have no idea what's happening. People don't know how the life to be lived. We live life. They live just like that. They have no idea. But at least people know if they follow this Krishna consciousness. Parents tell the stories of various personalities from Bhagavatam, Ramayana, Mahabharata. The child will know. And when sometimes they may not understand certain things. But as a parent, it is our responsibility to tell them this story, like bedtime story. Don't tell them fairy tale story and all that. Those are not real stories. Tell from the real stories. Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, such an amazing stories. If you have a girl child, then you can talk about Draupadi, how resilient she was. Kunti Maharani, there are so many wonderful qualities of this women, even in Krishna consciousness. So we can talk about that. But we have to read about them first, then we can tell. Huh? So Gujarati, there is one kahavat, Kuam hoy to hawada maave. Means what? If in a village, there is a well and there is a small, what do you call? Storage of water which is kept there. So what happened? The water from the well is poured into that. So all the animals, all the cattle, they are grazing. They can come and drink water in there. So that is called hawad, something like that. Okay. So he said only if the water is there in the well, then it can come here. No, otherwise how it will come? So the well is like a parent and this is like a child. So only if we know, then that we can give it to child. Otherwise how it will come? If the well is dry, from where the water will come? Not possible. Then we are waiting for rain to fall. Like somebody else, we outsource parenting. We should not do that. Anything can be outsourced except parenting. We should never. Because we know the child the best. Right? We know the best. So that's what. So now they are living here. So let's go to next verse. Now here, Parikshit. So Parikshit means he is an examiner. Pariksha means exam, right? So he became an examiner. The name itself means he is an examiner. That is name of Parikshit. Yes, literal meaning, right? Because he constantly remembered the Lord, because he saw the Lord in his mother's womb. And when he saw that impression remained, and when he came out, he's always looking for that, where is that person who I saw? I can't find him. And he keeps looking at, are you the one? Are you the one? Are you the one? He keeps looking, but he never finds them. So always constant in the search of the Lord, always. That's why his name was given Parikshit. So let's see some Very wonderful qualities of Parikshit Maharaj, and Prabhupada has very brilliant purport about his own life. And for all of us, especially all the parents, including myself, we should know this. So we are going to study this very deeply. Sayesh loke vikhyat Parikshit iti yat Prabhu Purvam drishtam Anudyayan Pariksheta Nareshwa iha. Abha, are you able to read it?
So his son would become famous in the world as Parikshit, examined, because he would come to examine all human beings and search after that personality means of the Lord's work. Thus he would come to constantly contemplate.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, so let us read this purport, because this purport is very brilliant. In fact, every line in this is so important. So Maharaj Parikshit, fortunate as he was, got the impression of the Lord even in the womb of his mother, and thus his contemplation on the Lord was constantly with him. Now, this is an important point. Everybody, please pay attention to this point that Prabhupada is making. Prabhupada is saying, once the impression of the transcendental form of the Lord is fixed in one's mind, one can never forget him in any circumstances. Child Parikshit, after coming out of the womb, was in the habit of examining everyone to see whether he was the same personality whom he first saw in the womb. So, what Prabhupada is saying here, that every child should be given the impression of the Supreme Personal Godhead when they are about to be born or they are born. Very important, but that is what they will carry in the whole life. Whole life they will carry this. So Prabhupada is making this point that we have to give this impression. Very important point, right? Because that's the only way the child can become Krishna conscious. Because once they have seen, they're like, here Parikshit Maharaj has seen, and he is constantly thinking, where is that Lord? Where is that Lord? He's always thinking about that. Similarly, when we talk to the child about this katha, story from Bhagavatam, Rama, and all that, they will carry that through the life. Sometimes they may get distracted in between because of the age and hormones changes and all that. But please remember that they will again come back to this. They have a base. We have given a wonderful base, right, on which their whole future is going to be built. So if they may deviate, little detour, they might take, but they will again come back. No, I think I should do this. This is what I was told when I was young. They will remember all the time, right? So here, Jiva Goswami puts a very important point here. So I want somebody to read it. So nobody, can you read? Prince Prabhu? Yeah.
Every child given an impression of the Lord from his very childhood certainly becomes a great devotee of Lord, like Maharaj Parikshit.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, Jiva Goswami is giving this comment that every child should be given this. Every child. Then they become very devotee. See what happens, we anticipate that we are doing this so he will become a great devotee. No, we just keep doing our, again we have to see that we are not entitled on the result. We can only put our efforts. So teaching our child, telling stories, that is our responsibility. We must do it. Right? And whenever there is a challenge, we can course correct and bring the child back to these. All those things, our responsibility. Keep praying, keep doing this. Because now, what Prabhupada is going to tell is very wonderful. So we know that when Prabhupada was young, right, when he was child, his father gave him the small deities to worship, right? And I want to hear this from Srila Prabhupada's words. So we'll read this whole purport, right? So, okay, I have to make it bigger. It's too small to read. Or Amish, can you read this? Can you read? Yeah, go ahead.
My father was a pure devotee of the Lord, and when I was only 4 or 5 years old, my father gave me a couple of forms of Radha and Krishna. In a playful manner, I used to worship these deities along with my sister, and I used to imitate the performances of a neighboring temple of Radha Govinda. By constantly visiting this neighboring temple and copying the ceremonies in connection with my own dailies of play, I developed a natural affinity for the Lord. My father used to observe all the ceremonies befitting his position. Later on, these activities were suspended due to my association in the schools and colleges, and I became completely out of practice. But in my youthful days, when I met my spiritual master, Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, again I revived my old habit, and the same playful dailies became my worshipful dailies in proper relation. This was followed up until I left the family connection, and I am pleased that my generous father gave the first impression, which was developed later into regulative devotional service by his divine grace.
So you can see, when we give this impression in the young mind, they will care. Then even if they deviate a little bit, no problem, they'll come back. Because the old impression will come back. Similarly, if you do otherwise, that will also happen. If you're not given not so good, like many times when mothers are carrying, they go and watch movie. One a child was born like that in our friend we know. The child was very notorious, always like doing some actions and all breaking things and all that stuff. And you say, what happened? Why is the child? Everybody is confused. Then somebody says, okay, let's do it. Go back. The past. What happened? Okay, what happened? Tell us. See, what happened? So they say, okay, the mother watched the movie Sholay, Sholay in India, some of you might know. She saw many times. So it has got all, action and all the stuff. And obviously, child will carry those impressions. So we should be very careful what we are seeing, because child is seeing through mother's eye. Child is seeing through mother's eye when the child is in mother's womb. Child is eating from what mother is eating. It's like that. So we have to be very careful. Prabhupada is giving here his own life's example. And G. Goswami is confirming this. 500 years ago, he told us that we have to give this impression, such an important point. So it is even not late for child who are already born. We can still keep giving this information now. And that way they will revive this in future also if something happens. But right now it is our responsibility to give them 100%. And I'm so glad all of you are bringing your children here. They're listening, sitting in the class. Because normally child will just go and play. Sometimes they say, okay, let's play because we are come together. But I see all the children are sitting here asking questions, raising their hand, why this happening? So it's such a nice thing. And not just for this 2 hours that we sit and discuss, your home also, when you go back, tell the stories. Talk about Srila Prabhupada's life. That how this Prabhupada created this, how was his life, how he lived it. Talk about Prahlad Maharaj in a story form. All of you should have copies of this Bhagavatam tale. Very wonderful stories are being told in that, in a story form. Very wonderful, beautiful, pictures where the children will love that to see in a very nice font. Read along with them at their pace. And when they want to, not when we want to. There's a difference. We normally try to read when we want to, but read when they want to. Then they'll be very reciprocal to that. They will receive it very nicely. So, further, Prabhupada writes in the last paragraph, and which is very important, and let's read that because this is also coming from the childhood pastime of Srila Prahlad Maharaj. Mother, can you read? Yeah.
Maharaja Prahlada also advised that such impression of godly relation must be impregnated from the beginning of childhood. Otherwise, one may miss the opportunity of the human form of life, which is very valuable, although it is temporary like others.
Correct. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling this. To whom he is telling? If you see the 7th canto, 6th chapter, first verse instruction. To whom? All his demoniac friends. Where Prahlad was in a demon family, so when he goes to Gurukul also, all the demon students are there, all the demons are there. So this teaching is being first instruction. So what he's saying, let's read this. Only wonderful word. All parents should remember this. In fact, everybody should remember these words because this has got such an important instruction given by Sri Prahlad Maharaj. Sri Prahlad Uvacha Kaumaram Acharet Pragyo Dharman Bhagavatam Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tat Apya Adruvam Arthadam. So this is important. He's saying Durlabham Manusham Janma. This human birth is very rare. When we say rare, we still don't understand the rarity of human birth. We know rare gold, rare metal. It's rare. That we understand immediately. But when we say human life is rare, I don't think we understand. Do we understand that? Seriousness of the rareness of human birth? I don't think so. We don't understand that. But here it is mentioned. It's a rare. Very hard to get. Very difficult to achieve. But we got it. Sometimes we get something very easily. We lose the value of that, right? Somebody has really worked hard to get a particular job and he gets in and he feels very happy, excited. But somebody who just picked up and said, okay, you work here, he has no value of that job. So we have got human birth because we don't have past memory, we don't understand this life. But this is very rare, very, very rare life. Human birth is not something that is given to everyone. Not everybody gets it. We are the chosen ones. And in that also we are chosen ones to do bhakti. We are able to chant, we are able to come together, we are able to hold Srimad Bhagavatam. Holding Srimad Bhagavatam is rare. Because when you hold it, you can read it. Otherwise, what's the possibility? No way. Are these books not available? They're available anywhere. You can buy it. You can read them online. But not everybody is able to read it. So this is very rare. So let's read the translation. And then he says, Tat apya adruvam. Adruvam means it is temporary. It will be there today, not tomorrow. And then he says, but still it is arthadam. It is still very useful. Isn't it? Like for example, you have a pen, when you write exams. The pen is very important at the time. The ink may finish and then you may discard the pen. But for that moment, it is arthadam, because then only I can write my exam. So human birth is like that, it's temporary, it will go to finish. But in this life, I can learn so much, I can do bhakti so much that I can go back to Godhead in this life itself. Right? So let us read this. It's a very wonderful translation given by Srila Prabhupada. So, Mata, can you read? Mai, please read it. I'll make it bigger for you.
Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all the other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and all through temporary like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life one can perform devotional service even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice, Buddha. Very long purport, very nicely read. Very nice. So we can see here such an important point being made by Prahlad Maharaj. That life is temporary. All the human life is, all the living beings are temporary. But why this is important? Because only and only in this human birth we can do devotional service. We can do bhakti. It is not possible. Can a dog chant? No. Can a cow come and sit in the class? No. We cannot. Only human birth. And we can understand why it is so important. But yet, since we have not understood the rarity of human birth, we waste a lot of time. So much time gets wasted every now and then. If you look at every week we are meeting for 1 and 2 hours, and sometimes we don't meet because of various reasons. How many hours of whole year is that? It is not even 1%. That's much time we are spending in coming together. So it is even become rare to come together, isn't it? You got rare, or you got rare bhakti. Now coming in doesn't even become rare. See how it is becoming smaller and smaller, number. Therefore, association is such an important thing that we should all come together, get motivation from each other. Somebody's chanting nicely, somebody's always having feedback with him, he's putting his hand all the time. We can say, oh, this is so nice. Oh, he's reading all the time. Oh, he's wearing tilak nicely, he's wearing kanchipan. All this is inspirational from each other. That's why we have to meet each one. And then we get inspired. Because inspiration is not something that you buy, right, from the market. I want some inspiration. No, you see others and see, oh, he came in Krishna consciousness just now when he moved so fast. What happened? Sometimes what happens, we bring somebody in Krishna consciousness, and that person starts moving so fast, and we say, hey, I'm here. He went ahead, what happened? Isn't it? Because that person understood the sincerity, the seriousness of human birth, that why this is so precious. That's what his Srimad Maharaj is telling. So it is very important, and therefore we should make sure that we take this life very seriously. Very, very serious. It is very important. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. So this is going to talk about the growth, how the Parikshit Maharaj growth is going to happen. And that's what it's here. So let us read this. Saraja Putro Vavardhe Asu Shukla Ivodupah Apuryamana Pitrabihi Kastabiri Vason Navam. Robert, can you please read translation?
Yes, Prabhu. If the moon in its waxing fortnight develops day after day, so the royal prince, Parikshit, very soon developed luxuriantly under the care and full facilities of his guardian grandfathers.
Hare Krishna. So, the prince, that is Parikshit Maharaj, is going to, like his forefather, is going to grow. The kingdom will grow, his fame will grow. All these things are there. And obviously, because he is a very pious king, all this is possible. Because when the pious king is ruling, the citizens are very happy under them, right? Because everything is working out nice, people can do practice the bhakti nicely, all these things are there. So this kind of growth is always welcome. And as moon is waxing fortnight, it's, we know that moon keeps on becoming Shukla Paks and Krishna Paks, right? We see two different Pakses in which says it's going to grow like that. So that is what is mentioned here. Now, after hearing all this, Maharaj Yudhishthira wanted to perform Ashwamedh Yajna. He said, let's do sacrifice, hot sacrifice, right? So he has to, and Yajna means you need a lot of samagri, a lot of money, a lot of resources are required. This is not like a normal home havan that we do in home, right? Which is a type of yajna only, but it's a very, very small scale. This is like very large and goes for many years, very big. And to run that, you need money, you need the resources, right? How will you get that? At that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira did not have a lot of money because most of the money was lost in war. Because war happened, right? When the war happens, so much money goes in that, everything was gone. So he did not have a lot of treasury. And then he was only having whatever tax he was able to collect, That much money, that is only used sufficient to run the normal, day-to-day operations. You will not have something for expansion or doing some big projects. Like many company also we have no money. We can only run, no big project. Next year, budget will come. So like that, he also having. So he's like a very pious king. He's not trying to use money just like that. I'm trying to extract more money. No, give me this because we want to run this. No. So let's read this verse and see what is being told here. Yakshamanos Ashwamedena Gnati Droha Jihasaya Raja Lapta Dhano Dadhyo Nanyatra Kara Dandayo. Yes, Rishikesh, go. Can you read?
Just as this time, King Yudhishthira was considering performing a horse sacrifice to get freed from sins incurred from fighting with kinsmen. But he became anxious to get some wealth, for there were no surplus funds outside of fines and tax collection.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, what is saying? Yudhishthira Maharaj was considering performing the horse sacrifice to get free from the sins incurred from the fighting. So now question is, did Maharaj Parikshit actually incur sins in the war?
Yes.
Okay, yes. How many are for yes? No, that's okay. We are discussing. Don't feel that I am the only one or it's not like that. We are all discussing, right? We are all trying to.
Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Did he incur sins because of the war? Because so many millions of. Okay, how many are yes? Okay, quite a few. Okay, how many? So rest are feeling that they did not incur sin. Is that how it's? Okay, how many feel that he did not incur sin? Okay. Now I'll ask question to those who said no sin. Okay, Puja Mata, why he did not incur sin?
Because he acted as per the instruction from Krishna.
Yes. So when Krishna tells that do this, no sin. Can somebody tell me this kind of situation where somebody was told to kill his own mother?
Oh,
Parashuram. Can you imagine? Father is telling. The father, Parashuram was, Jamdagni was a father of Parashuram. He tells his younger sons, he says, Parashuram was the youngest. So he says others that, okay, because your mother had, something, she went to take bath and Gandharva and all the stuff. I don't go that details. But he says, you kill your mother. No, we cannot. And Parshuram doesn't even think. As soon as his father told, immediately. Then father said, okay, great, ask me what you want. Revive my mother, revive my brother also. And make sure there are no scars and make sure they have no memory. Can you imagine? And everybody will remind immediately. So no sin was occurred. Similarly here, as all those to say, and don't worry if you raise your hand and it is not like here, it is all discussion, dear devotees. We are not trying to compete here. I am going 5-star, 2-star, nothing. This is all discussion. So we should all participate. Because see, this is our understanding become clearer, right? So nobody incurs sin. But look at the heart of a devotee. Look at the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj saying that though Krishna told, but any of people were killed. So I have to do something for them. So therefore, out of compassion, out of feeling guilty that, oh, I did this, and that too for this piece of land, he feels like that. Like Arjuna had the same thinking. Why should I fight for this piece of land? I should, fight with my own brothers, my uncle, my guru, my dadaji. Everybody he says, no, I don't want to fight. Yes.
If he did as Yudhishthira Maharaj did this war as per the instruction from Krishna, then why his level or ratha went down 6 inches, like because he was called as a Satya. And when there was a incident,
he
Ashwatthama, right?
Yeah.
So he said Narova Kunjuva, and then his wrath went down from air.
That is how we were taught, but that is not correct.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that is not correct. I mean, the reason is not correct.
Okay.
The reason is that he did not follow Krishna's instruction. Krishna told him to tell, but he said, no, I will not tell. And that's why he says, Ashwasthama is killed. Then he says, Narova Kunjaro, he says that. I don't know whether it is an elephant or the person, that I don't know. So Krishna told him, you have to say Ashwasthama is killed. That's it. He says, I will not. Krishna gave instruction. He says, I will not. And therefore, that happened. So when he says Ashwasthama killed, and then he says Narova Kunjarova, like that, he was Krishna blew his tongue. Nobody could hear that. Krishna knew that Yudhishthira Maharaj cannot do this. So he was ready. Because if Dronacharya heard, then he would say, no, that means it is not my son. He would have understood, because Yudhishthira Maharaj never lies.
Yeah.
So it was because of he did not follow the instruction of Krishna, that's why it happened. Nothing else, not because he lied. So therefore, when Krishna tells something, we have to do it. We have to follow his instruction. I mean, Supreme Personality, if CEO comes and says, write this email, send this. No, I cannot. Okay, you're fired. Finish. So what do? We immediately follow the instruction, isn't it? So Krishna tells, he's the Supreme Personality of God, just follow the instruction. That's it. So that's what happens. So now he wanted to perform this yajna because, Vishwadev told him to perform this. But he has no money. For yajna, you need a lot of money, a lot of resources. You have to give so much dakshina to all the brahmanas who will come and perform yajna. You have to do all these things. From where we'll get the resources, right? So in next words, we'll see how he's gather money. Have you moved? Not yet. 33. So from where he's going to get wealth, let's see. Okay. Tat abhipretam alakshya Bratraro Chutak Chodita Dhanam Prahima Jahur Ajahur Udicham Dishi Bhurishaha.
Translation. Understanding the healthy wishes of the king, his brothers, as advised by the infallible Lord Krishna, collected sufficient riches from the north left by King Marutta. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, the king Marutta was a great emperor before Yudhishthira Maharaj in the north side. And he was also doing so much yajna and all those things. And he gave so much wealth to brahmanas when they come, so much wealth, They will be eating in a golden plate, they will have golden spoon, everything, golden. But that was so much that brahmanas said, I cannot carry. So they dumped it in a, like trash. Like a trash, they put it. So much gold was given. Today, if you see $10, also somebody will pick it away. Money. But at the time, so much gold was there, so much wealth was there, that nobody wanted to even take it because they were so happy with what they had. So here, they had left so much gold because they couldn't carry it, it was so heavy. Right? Like we were seeing that story, right? Where Jaidev Goswami, when the thieves come, they wanted to carry so much gold. They said, we can't carry. Okay. They tell the soldier, please carry for us. Like that. They were greedy. But here, they left the gold because they never wanted to do it. They're happy with what they had. They left. So Krishna knew. So remember here also, see, Krishna could have given the wealth easily, isn't it? Krishna could have given, oh, how much you need? Okay, come on, here it is. But see, Krishna is not giving this. Even to his greatest devotees. He's telling, no. He just told them that here, gold is there, you go and bring it. You have to put efforts. So endeavor has to be done by us. Krishna will show us the way to how to achieve this, how to do certain things. But it is our endeavor, our effort that must be done. Krishna is not going to give you something on a platter. That okay, here is the wealth, please take it. No. He told, the gold is here, please go and collect it. The guidance was given by Krishna. So in our life also, Krishna will not come and solve the problems. Krishna give you intuition, guidance, you do this, and that's how you can get rid of this misery. All those things, he will give this intelligence to us. But action is ours. So we are given this path by Srila Prabhupada, by a pure devotee. The chanting, 4 regular principles, eating prasadam, participating in the festival, all this is given by Srila Prabhupada. Now we have to walk on that. That means we have to chant, we have to dress like a Vaishnava, we have to read scriptures. Our regular sadhana has to be there, not like once in a week. Every day has to be there. That's why we have this reading session where we come together, read every day. And I see there's a lot of improvement in everyone who was reading because I see the pronunciation is improving. People are able to identify the meters nicely, isn't it? Everybody feels happy after reading. Yeah. This is how I am. Initially, some might difficult, but then everybody feels happy. If the confidence level goes up, when we read it, there may be mistakes because we try to improve that, but eventually, what we were reading 1 year ago, 2 years ago, now there's a huge difference. See, biggest fear in our life should be that if we are, after 1 year also, we see that we are only here, same place. We have not made progress. That's the biggest danger. But I haven't made any progress in life. I had so much association. I've heard so many lectures. I went to so many Bhakti Viksha. I went to temple, attended festival. I'm still here. Why? If you are not inspired to chant, if you are not inspired to chanting more and more rounds, if you are not inspired to read, then there is something missing in our life, in our activity that we do. We should be inspired. That I want to chant, I want to do this, I want to follow principles. All these things can come from the scripture, from the readings, from the listening of the lectures, from the fellow devotees association. This will come. If that is not coming, then we need to ask what is lacking. And we should try to get that. That what is missing in my life. Right? So this is important. Like when Avnish is now going to go to California in 1 month, we'll miss him. But he's asking me, Prabhu, what can I do in this 1 month? It's like, Parikshit, what can I do in these 7 days? He's asking, what can I do in 1 month? Then I have asked some senior devotee, there's a youth who is asking for that, okay, then what can, I have got the guidance, I'm going to share with him. So point is that eagerness, that what can I do more? The moment we have more time, think this is a danger. If you have free time, and if you're not doing Krishna conscious activity, that's a dangerous thing. If you're taking care of family, all this, of course, that is also Krishna conscious activity because that family, the Lord has given the child to be taken care of. So we must take care of the child. That priority has to be there. That must be done. We should not be chanting when child says, Mama, I need help. I'll finish it off. No, go there. Chant later on. That's okay. But take care of the child. With child, that will then understand the importance. That mother loves me, and then she will listen to the mother. So the point is that we should try to improve our Krishna consciousness as we move in our life. We should not just keep adding years in our life and still be there where we were a couple of years ago. Not like it, because stagnant water is not good. A flowing water should flow. So we should keep flowing, keep progressing, make progress in our life. Right? Yeah. Yeah, so here they were collecting a lot of wealth from Marutta's kingdom, where it was left abandoned actually, not even left, abandoned. And so much was there, the piles and piles of gold was there. So Arjun goes and brings all of that back to Hastinapur and they perform the yajna. So what they do now with the riches, they are performing the yajna. And whom they are pleasing? By yajna, who do they please? Krishna. Yajna Purusha again, Vishnu is Krishna always. So they are pleasing Krishna. Krishna is there, but still they are for his pleasure they are doing it. So nicely. So I think we have 3 more verses. We'll finish this chapter today. So we can start from a new chapter from next week. Okay? We'll quickly go to that. Won't take long time. Verse number 34. Tena sambrutta sambharo dharmaputro yudhishthirah vajimedhais tribhirdhito yagne samayachat dharim. Yes. Vikas, can you read?
Yes. Translation. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of God.
Hare Krishna. So here he performed how many? 3 Ashwamedh Yajna. Because there are so much killing happen. Millions of soldiers die, both sides, right? So therefore, out of compassion, Yudhishthira Maharaj is performing this. I have actually, as we discussed, he has not committed any sin because they acted on the instruction of Sri Krishna. And when we act on the instruction of Sri Krishna, no sin is incurred. No sin is incurred. Because we are following Krishna's instruction as it is. Yes.
So question in this regard, Prabhu, like everyone who died on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained liberation.
Yes.
And there was no sin on Maharaj Yudhishthira's part. So the results of this Ashwamedha Yajna, where is it going? Who is it going?
No, is to please Krishna. The Krishna
Simply for
simply for his. See, all the yajna that we do for the pleasure of the Yajna Purush, which is Krishna only. Because then Krishna will give benediction based on that. Very happy. So it is performed for that. See, Yudhishthira Maharaj, here basically the quality of a devotee is being shown here. The devotee, despite though they acted on the instruction of Krishna, because they have a pious heart, compassionate nature, they think that they have committed a big sin. Because killing a person is not enough. Even a soldier, when they try to kill, they actually don't come and shoot anyone and anybody. They only kill when the enemy is trying to attack. In an army, the rule is first defend and then attack. It is never like attack and defend. No, it is first defend. We don't attack somebody just like that. You counter and then try to defend, and then you cannot, then you just attack. So same rule applies here also. That Yudhishthira Maharaj, they never wanted to fight first of all. Yudhishthira Maharaj, if you see, when he was sent to forest, he's fine. Okay, I went to forest, no problem. Then he also begging, give us half kingdom. Okay, no half, give me 5 village. Give me something so we can continue our life. We are Kshatriya, so we need to rule as a nature. So we need something. Nothing. And then there is a war which happens. What to do? See, Krishna will always be with us, give instructions and all that. So many times we say that Yudhishthira Maharaj, he went to play the game. Dhruta Krida, he went to go, right? When Dhritarashtra called. But he did not carry Krishna with him. Krishna was not there. So Krishna couldn't guide them. You see? Krishna couldn't guide them. Draupadi also tried to save herself. No resort. She tried her own strength, holding her sari in teeth, hands. Then he begged all the great, people sitting in the Kuru's assembly. Nobody could help. Finally, when she raised her hand and said, Govinda, Dwarakavasi, please come. And then Krishna came and helped. So we have to surrender to Krishna. We have to always keep Krishna next to us all the time. A long time back, when I was not in Krishna conscious process, and I was in a sales and marketing and all this stuff. So I used to attend classes where they will teach how to, motivate people to buy and all that. So they used to talk about a person called Zig Ziglar, if somebody has heard his name. He was a motivator for selling and all that. He will say he will wear a bracelet. The Christians, he will wear a bracelet, and he says, he is embossed, on that. He says, WWJD. WWJD. So I asked, what is this? So he says, in any situation when I have a confusion in my mind, what to do, what not to do, we are always having dilemma this, right? Everybody has that. They say, I will always remember this, WWJD. What would Jesus do? So we should change to WWKD. What would Krishna do? Yeah, what will Lord do? And think about what would Krishna do? And suddenly we remember some devotee. Oh, this devotee came out with this wonderful thing and they how responded. Because Bhagavatam is full of such situations in our life. All these situations which we hear in Bhagavatam, they all are happening around us. And the answers are there. But because we have not accessed them yet, we are not able to implement. Right? Now, if I ask him calculus question, he may not be able to answer right now, but in few years from now, he is able to answer that. Why? Because he will have access to that information. He is mature, he is intelligent by that time. So similarly, we have this knowledge, but how much of this we have accessed? And therefore, we are not able to respond to the situation. We feel miserable. Oh, what is this happening? The moment we have this knowledge, God. So we should remember this WWKD. What would Krishna do in this situation? Means Krishna's devotee would do. Similar thing, and immediately we will get inspiration. That yeah, this is what it is. Right? So that remember many years ago, but that particular point remember in my mind somehow, because that was such a profound point which was made at the time. So these are how the impressions are made, When you give this information to your children, young age, they'll remember. See, I'm remembering after what, 25 years? It was so long ago. But that particular point made mark in my mind. So I'm able to recall in the sleep also. The same thing, when you tell the stories to your children, they will be able to recall this. How a particular child, a particular character or a personality in Bhagavatam behaved, that will be known to them. And they will implement that in their life. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next verse. So now, Lord Krishna wanted to go. Okay, your gaze done, I'll go. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, Kunti Maharaj, all this, please stay. Please stay with us, some more years. Nobody wants to let Krishna go from their life, isn't it? So they are saying this. So let's see what happens. Ahuto Bhagavan Rajya Yajayitva Vijendripam Uvasa Katichin Masana Suradam Priya Kamyaya. Yes.
Translation. Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, being invited to his sacrifices by Maharaj Yudhishthira, saw to it that they were performed by qualified voice-born Brahmins. After that, for the pleasure of the relatives, the Lord remained with humans.
Hare Krishna. So here it is important that all the yajna should be performed by a qualified person. Very qualified person should perform this. But in this Kali Yuga, we don't find very qualified people. There are, no doubt, but there are very few. So getting them every time is difficult. And therefore, yajna is forbidden in Kali Yuga. But only one yajna is permitted. What is that yajna? Sankirtan, chanting. Harer Naam, Harer Naam eva kevalam, Kalau Nasteva Nasteva Gatiranya. Only the chanting is required. That's it. If you do this, and if we come together and chant as a Sankirtan, when we do alone, it is called Japa. When we come together and chant, it becomes Sankirtan. Right? So we should do Sankirtan. Come together like we chanted just before beginning of this class, right? So we can do this all the time. And Lord is always wanted to stay with his devotees. So Narad Muni is asking, Lord, where are you? I don't live in Vaikuntha. I don't live in the heart of the yogi. Where do I live? I live where my devotees are singing Hari Katha. They are chanting Hari Nam. So Krishna lives there. Right? It is mentioned, right? When Ram Katha is going on, who is present? Hanumanji is always there. In fact, Asan is given for Hanumanji when he is there. Asan is always kept when the Ram Katha is going on. So Hanumanji comes and listens. Now this is very confusing. You know, I can't see somebody. How is it? But it is like that. It's a fact. He comes to listen to wherever there is a Ram Katha going on, he'll come. So same thing, Krishna will also be there. We can't see him, but he is there somewhere and seeing our activities. They are coming, discussing nicely, they are listening attentively, they are answering questions, asking questions. So it's nice. Right? Krishna is always pleased when the devotees come together. And when he sees the devotee is making sincere effort, then Krishna will empower us to do more bhakti. You know, like a parent would give a child who's very obedient, very nice, you know, and then a father or mother will give full love, 100% everything, blindly. Okay, take this, no problem. Because they know child will be very nice. But if child is misbehaving, then what happens? They will restrain. They'll only give what is needed, few things. Okay, take $50 only, man, nothing more. Otherwise, good child, okay, take my credit card. And child will use only for what he needs. He will not misuse that. So that's how we get a lot of things from Krishna when we do our bhakti nicely. When Krishna sees that this child is nice, so he'll take care. Okay, the last words for today. So now Lord Krishna departs for Krishna. So we see how we big detour we took. We started. We took the detour. Krishna entered Dwarka. Everything happened. Now we are coming and then Krishna is now leaving. So if you remember this slide that we talked about, let's go to the slide. You see that we took the detour. Right? There is a big detour he took. So therefore we can see that actually this should have come here, Drona punish him then. And then all this 1, 2, 3, 4, but it took a detour and then came here. But that's nice, we actually know that what happened there, right? So it's very wonderful to go there. Okay, now Lord Krishna is departing for Dwarka. Let's read this last verse. 36. Tato Ragnyabhyanugnatah Krishnaya Saha Bandhubihi Yayo Dvaravatim Brahman Sarjuno Yadubhirvritah. Yes, Ram Prabhu, can you please read?
Translation. This why it's like this.
Yeah.
O son of God, thereafter the Lord, having made farewell to King Yudhishthira, Draupadi, and other relatives, started for the city of Dwarka, accompanied by Arjuna and other members of the Yudhishthira.
Hare Thank you, Ram Prabhu. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled Birth of Emperor Parikshit. Hare Krishna. So with this, we come to the end of this wonderful chapter, the birth of Emperor Parikshit. And we'll begin the next chapter, chapter 13, from next week onwards. So we'll pause here, see if there is any question, comment, any correction, anybody has. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. So any child has prepared any song or bhajan? Want to sing? No? Not today? Huh? Namaste nothing, guys. That is a regular thing. Additional to that. Always prepare something which will help you. I think we need to make somebody in charge of doing this. Yeah. Then we'll follow to the kids. If you do this, you do this.
You have to give everybody hope.
Like me.
So you don't have to talk to parents. No? Talk to parents. Which bhajan your child is going to sing? Who is going to do this like that? Right.